It reminds me of a cairn, or in the other words, an artificial stone mound covering a tomb underneath.
Now, if it were just simply getting into the chamber, we could do that. It's not like just treasure hunting where you go in and consider taking care of the objects that are beyond this wall.
In this episode, we delve into the mystery of an ancient figure whose story holds untold and terrifying truths about the nature of humanity. The search for his final resting place has captivated explorers for centuries. Could his tomb hold more questions than answers? What do researchers have to say about the long-held mystery behind the legend of Moses? Recent discoveries suggest that explorers may have found his tomb, and what they have uncovered could change everything we know. Join us on Expedition Unknown as we launch a full-blown investigation into the death and burial of Moses.
It's always exciting. Sometimes there's even between the workmen a bit of a competition. Who will find first?
The legendary figure from the Bible, Moses, has long been a subject of fascination and mystery. The host of this investigation, Josh Gates, is on a mission to uncover the truth behind the historical, living, breathing man known as Moses, and where he was laid to rest. Archaeologist Talek Dedel explains that Moses' burial site is detailed in biblical tradition, stating that he was buried on the other side of the valley where they currently stand. Dedel also notes that Moses died on Mount Nebo. The final resting place of Moses could be within reach for researchers who have discovered long-hidden clues pointing toward one of the most significant finds in archaeological history. The religious significance of this discovery cannot be overstated, as Moses is a revered figure across many faiths. To many people, these clues have led researchers under the Sea of Galilee, where a mysterious underwater structure has been spotted for the first time. This finding challenges everything we know about the history and legend of Moses. The legendary Miriam's well serves as a backdrop to this discovery, adding to the mystique behind these proceedings. For the scientists, archaeologists, and researchers involved, the stakes are high. The Expedition Unknown crew, led by Josh Gates, is dropping a seismic air gun into the Sea of Galilee to scan an underwater anomaly that could be connected to the biblical legend known as Miriam's well. Could the Middle East be left in turmoil after these truths come to light? How might this change or impact life in the modern day? The mission is clear. The Expedition Unknown crew will explore the sea for more clues that can illuminate the past of Miriam's well. According to legend, the so-called Miriam's well was water provided to the Israelites during their 40 years of wandering in the desert, a miracle directly attributed to the survival of their people. The researchers believe that the structure they have found in the Sea of Galilee could prove that the legend of Miriam's well is true and a historical fact. The story of the Exodus is famous, with the main players being Moses and his two siblings, Aaron and Miriam. Miriam is important to the narrative of the Exodus and is first introduced as the watchful, loving sister who ensures the safety of her little brother Moses as she sends him down the Nile River in a basket. The story continues with Moses being found floating in his basket, considered a miracle by his new family. However, Miriam's story picks up again with her emerging as a leader in her own right, leading the women of Israel in celebration after their escape across the Red Sea to escape Pharaoh's tyranny. Miriam is often associated with water, a theme that continues throughout her entire story and legend, from the Nile River to the shore of the Red Sea. Her legend ends with the well that nourished her people and is named after her. According to Israelite traditions, after escaping Egypt, the Israelites were saved in the desert by manna from heaven, which was, in fact, water that sprung from a miracle well that followed them on their treacherous journey. This water was blessed, as it was not just any ordinary source of water, but a gift from God for the good and righteous work Miriam had done in saving her people. The well itself is described in the legend as a rock that rolled along with the Israelites and would spurt out water when they needed to quench their thirst. The water was said to be sweet-tasting and provided more than just physical sustenance. It also offered spiritual nourishment that kept the Israelites hopeful and determined to survive. The importance of Miriam's well lives on today in the legends and traditions of these people. The narrative that God loves the Israelites is an underlying theme in the story, highlighting what an excellent example Miriam was for being so brave and faithful. This story also serves as a reminder of the power of faith and the importance of a strong leader. Each of the siblings played a crucial role in the story. Moses provided law and order to the people. Aaron offered mediation and diplomacy, and Miriam nurtured the community and provided sustenance. Without her well, survival would not have been so easy, and the spirits of the escaped Israelites could have been easily broken. The events following Miriam's death strengthened the connection she had to the well. According to accounts, the well disappeared after her passing, leading to another significant event in the story of Exodus, where Moses strikes a rock to bring forth water. This act of disobedience resulted in God punishing Moses by forbidding him from entering the Promised Land. The Sea of Galilee, a freshwater lake in Israel, holds geological and archaeological significance. In recent years, this area has become the focal point of intriguing discoveries. Researchers have found an underwater structure that may be linked to the biblical legend of Miriam's well. This structure challenges our understanding of history and the legends surrounding Moses and his siblings. For Josh Gates and the Expedition Unknown crew, this discovery represents a monumental opportunity to explore the past and bring to light the truth behind one of the most revered figures in religious history. As they continue their investigation, the potential implications of their findings are profound. Could this discovery change our understanding of the Exodus story and its key figures? How will this impact modern faith and the historical narrative? The mission is ongoing, and the crew is determined to uncover more clues that could shed light on the mysteries of Miriam's well and its connection to the survival of the Israelites in the desert. With each discovery, they edge closer to unraveling the historical and spiritual significance of this ancient legend, potentially reshaping our understanding of biblical history. In 2003, a remarkable discovery was made at the bottom of an ancient lake near the Sea of Galilee that has captivated historians and scholars alike, igniting a flurry of questions and launching numerous expeditions. This mysterious structure, identified during a sonar survey by Israeli scientists, has sparked endless debates and speculation. The sonar survey revealed a massive cone-shaped formation made of basalt rocks and boulders, located just half a mile northwest of the shores of the Sea of Galilee. The structure, measuring over 230 feet in diameter and rising 39 feet from the lakebed, weighs an estimated 60,000 tons. This enormous size and weight suggest a significant effort was required to construct it. The discovery recalls references in the Jerusalem Talmud about a bump visible at the bottom of the Sea of Galilee, raising questions about whether there are other similar formations in the area. The mysterious origins of this structure have fueled imaginations, especially given the region's rich biblical history. Connections to Miriam's well, a legendary source of water during the Israelites' 40 years in the desert, have become unavoidable. Jewish tradition holds that Miriam's well provided water during the Israelites' desert wanderings and was subsequently hidden. This belief has led researchers to speculate that the anomaly in the Sea of Galilee might be related to, or even be, the resting place of Miriam's well. To investigate further, researchers employed seismic air guns, typically used in oil and gas operations and geological studies, to release high-pressure air into the water. This creates sound waves that penetrate the seabed, and the reflected waves are captured by sensors to produce detailed images of subsurface structures. These three-dimensional images allow scientists to examine the nature of underwater formations. The detailed imaging revealed that the massive size of the anomaly suggests it could be artificial, implying that ancient people transported and carefully placed the huge basalt boulders for a specific purpose. The structure's age is estimated to be from the early Bronze Age, around 4,000 years ago. This technological breakthrough in exploring ancient history has profound implications for understanding the past, but it also raises more questions about the structure's true purpose. Some researchers speculate the formation could have been a monument, burial mound, or ceremonial site. Notably, Josh Gates, a prominent explorer and television host, is eager to determine if it could be Moses' tomb. However, others believe the structure might have religious significance unrelated to a grave marker. The connection to Miriam's well poses an intriguing question. Could modern technology prove or expand upon biblical events? Focusing on the anomaly itself, researchers emphasize that the structure's size and arrangement, composed of basalt boulders and stones forming a massive cone-shaped pile, indicate considerable effort in its creation. Basalt, a volcanic rock common in the area, suggests the builders used locally available materials rather than importing them. The purpose behind constructing such a formation remains unclear, but its age, based on sediment layers and comparisons to similar archaeological sites, provides some clues about its creators. The early to mid-Bronze Age, a period known for the sudden emergence of complex societies with advancements in metalworking and trade networks, is the most educated estimate for the structure's age. The grand scale of the formation suggests it was built by a well-organized community with advanced communication and cooperation skills. This incredible feat of engineering and architectural skill implies a society capable of large-scale projects, adding a layer of historical significance to the discovery. The placement of the structure in the middle of the lake, now submerged due to shifts in water levels, further suggests it might have had a link to the worship of water, a precious resource in a desert climate. The sediment accumulation over the structure indicates it was built before the lake levels rose. This connection to water worship could tie into the Exodus story, where water played a vital role. Josh Gates's suggestion that the structure could be pinpointed as Miriam's well adds a fascinating dimension to the discovery. If the anomaly predates the Exodus story, it could provide invaluable insights into religious narratives that hold great importance for many. In conclusion, the mysterious underwater structure near the Sea of Galilee has opened a window into the past, blending technological innovation with ancient history. While its true purpose remains a topic of debate, the ongoing research and exploration promise to shed light on this enigma. Whether it is connected to Miriam's well, a monument, a burial site, or a ceremonial structure, the discovery highlights the intricate and sophisticated nature of early societies. As technology continues to unveil the secrets of the past, the pursuit of knowledge and understanding of our shared history becomes ever more valuable, offering a deeper appreciation of the complexities and wonders of ancient civilizations. The pursuit of Moses' tomb reflects a profound desire for a tangible connection with the divine and the historical. This quest goes beyond mere curiosity. It embodies a need for a physical representation of Moses' legacy and enduring impact on religion and moral philosophy. The site known as Nabii Musa stands as a testament to this legacy. For those unfamiliar, Musa is the Arabic name for Moses. Located not far from Jerusalem and the Dead Sea, Nabii Musa holds deep spiritual significance for multiple faiths, enriched by centuries of tradition, culture, and religious devotion. Josh Gates, a renowned explorer and television host, has commented on the challenge of reconciling the biblical and Quranic narratives to find a common ground. Nabii Musa is a place where such convergence is possible, offering both religious and historical significance. Despite the uncertainty about what lies within the tomb, the intersection of faith, history, and archaeology at this site creates a space where emotions and legacies can be respectfully acknowledged. Islamic tradition, despite lacking specific textual evidence, widely accepts that Nabii Musa is the burial place of Moses. This belief dates back to the medieval period, with existing shrines and mosque complexes established in the 13th century under the rule of the Mamluk Sultan Baybars. Over the centuries, the site has undergone numerous renovations and expansions, reflecting its lasting importance in the Islamic world. The pilgrimage to Nabii Musa coincides with the Muslim holiday of Laylat al-Miraj, which celebrates the Prophet Muhammad's night journey and ascension to heaven. This tradition underscores Nabii Musa's role not just as a memorial, but as a focal point of communal and religious identity. The history and beliefs surrounding Nabii Musa are steeped in mystical and religious thought. According to some accounts, the site was identified through a prophetic dream or vision that revealed Moses' final resting place. Although there is no archaeological or textual evidence to confirm this narrative, it has bestowed a sacred aura upon Nabii Musa, making it a site of great veneration to this day. The decision to honor Moses' burial site, based on such unconventional means, has faced challenges and sensitivities over time. Requests to conduct archaeological digs at this sacred site are approached with great delicacy. Religion, tradition, and culture are deeply intertwined, and any perceived disrespect can lead to significant controversy. The reverence for this historical site generally prevents scientists and researchers from conducting excavations that might satisfy their scientific curiosities. Respecting the region's religious beliefs and practices is paramount, especially in the Holy Land. When Josh Gates asked an archaeologist if the tomb of Moses at Nabii Musa had ever been opened, the response was careful and measured. The archaeologist explained that this is a religious matter, separate from scientific inquiry and excavation. Such limitations are expected, as scholars and scientists have long acknowledged the protective beliefs surrounding the tomb. These beliefs, which have preserved the sanctity of the site, continue to fuel curiosity and questions. The desire to uncover the truth and honor the past comes to a head at Nabii Musa. Any archaeological excavation here must be conducted with the utmost respect and care. The potential to alter or challenge traditional beliefs about Moses' tomb adds a layer of political and religious complexity that cannot be underestimated. Therefore, a collaborative approach involving religious authorities and the local community is essential to ensure any research is conducted respectfully and inclusively. Mount Nebo, another significant site, is historically linked to Moses as his final resting place. According to the Bible, Moses ascended to the peak of Nebo at God's command to view the promised land of Canaan. After gazing upon the land, Moses died on the mountain, and God himself buried him in Moab. The scripture states that no man knows the location of his tomb to this day. This narrative grants Mount Nebo immense significance, marking it as the place where Moses was last alive and subsequently buried by God. As a result, it has become a pilgrimage site for people of various faiths. The story of Moses' tomb and its associated sites, such as Nabii Musa and Mount Nebo, illustrates the deep interconnection between faith, history, and archaeology. These locations serve as powerful symbols of religious devotion, cultural heritage, and the enduring legacy of Moses. They represent the human need to connect with the past and the divine through physical representations, even when the exact historical details remain shrouded in mystery. The search for Moses' tomb and the reverence for sites like Nabii Musa and Mount Nebo highlight the complex interplay between belief and evidence, tradition, and curiosity. These sites continue to inspire devotion and wonder, standing as enduring testaments to the profound impact of Moses on religious and moral thought. As technology advances and our understanding of history deepens, the respectful exploration of such sacred sites will remain a delicate but essential endeavor, honoring the past while seeking to uncover its truths. Mount Nebo stands as one of the most potent and spiritually significant landmarks, drawing reflection and reverence from believers across Christian, Jewish, and Islamic faiths. The allure of standing where Moses once stood is an irresistible temptation for many pilgrims who journey to this sacred site with the hope of touching divinity and reaffirming their faith. The mountain's religious importance is underscored by the presence of well-preserved early Christian mosaics, a monastery, and a church, all of which bear witness to the long history of veneration that this area commands. Artifacts dating back to the 4th century offer glimpses into the early Christian community's efforts to commemorate Moses' profound impact and enduring legacy. Since the early 20th century, the Franciscan order has maintained the site, conducting extensive excavations that have uncovered remarkable archaeological finds, shedding light on the Christian past of this ancient and holy place. The mosaics, complex in design and rich in religious motifs, are among the most valuable in the Middle East, blending art, history, and religion uniquely connected to Mount Nebo. Unlike the site of Moses' tomb at Nabii Musa, Mount Nebo has inscriptions dating back to the 13th century, specifically 1269, and is more accessible to archaeological exploration. Archaeologist Tyke emphasizes the importance of knowing when to follow tradition and respect culture, explaining to Josh Gates, the host of Expedition Unknown, that the tomb of Moses at Nabii Musa will never be opened. He asserts that there is no need to disturb the tomb, as it is a matter beyond science, rooted deeply in faith and tradition. Gates understands this boundary, recognizing that researchers and scientists must sometimes accept the wisdom of leaving certain mysteries untouched. The search for concrete evidence regarding Moses' burial remains elusive for complex reasons. The Bible describes how the location of Moses' grave is meant to stay unknown, a mystery that enhances the significance of the site rather than diminishing it. Despite the lack of physical evidence linking Moses to Mount Nebo, the site's prominence in religious texts and its acknowledgement by religious authorities over centuries bolster its spiritual and historical importance. The incredible views from Mount Nebo include significant and sacred sites such as the Jordan Valley, the Dead Sea, Jericho, and even Jerusalem. These vistas match the biblical description, lending a sense of awe and majesty to the story of Moses. Pilgrims who visit experience a profound connection to Moses, reinforcing the intricate blend of religious tradition, diverse perspectives, and the power of preserving sacred sites for future generations. Mount Nebo's mass appeal lies in its ties to nature and unbroken tradition, serving as a bridge between the seen and unseen, the present and the past. It holds a power that cannot be measured by scientific equipment or observation. Although the tomb of Moses remains as mysterious today as it ever was, the site's symbolic significance endures. According to tradition, Moses' tomb is believed to be here, on this side of the Jordan River, easily reached and seen, yet still enveloped in mystery. Despite extensive research and investigation, the Holy Land and sites connected to the story of Moses continue to pose significant challenges. Not even the intrepid explorers of Expedition Unknown, led by Josh Gates, have been able to conquer these mysteries fully. From the anomaly in the Sea of Galilee to the site where Moses last stood at God's behest, Gates has faced numerous obstacles in his quest to uncover the truth. The scientific portion of this mystery remains unanswered, as religious and traditional reasons prevent the excavation or opening of Moses' tomb. However, The researchers have made headway by scanning the lake for more information on the mysterious underwater structure, suggesting new possibilities. The juxtaposition of the dry structure now submerged by water points to the possibility of it being connected to biblical events. As they conclude their expedition, the researchers leave with a deeper understanding and new data, but the quest for truth is never truly over. The mystery of Moses' tomb persists, and the search continues, driven by the hope that one day answers will be found. The promise of future discoveries keeps the flame of curiosity burning brightly. In conclusion, Mount Nebo and other related sites like Nabii Musa exemplify the profound interplay between faith, history, and archaeology. These locations inspire devotion and wonder, standing as testaments to Moses' significant impact on religious and moral thought. As technology advances and our understanding of history deepens, the respectful exploration of such sacred sites will remain a delicate but essential endeavor, honoring the past while seeking to uncover its truths. The search for Moses' tomb and the mysteries surrounding it symbolize the enduring human quest for knowledge and connection to the divine. Jebel Harun, also known as Mount Aaron, is a mountain in Jordan with deep historical and religious significance, particularly related to the biblical figures Moses and Aaron. Aaron, Moses' brother, is believed to have been buried here. The association of Jebel Harun as a potential burial site for Moses stems from religious traditions and historical accounts that have endured for centuries. To understand why Jebel Harun is considered a potential burial site for Moses, we need to delve into several key aspects, including biblical narratives, religious traditions, archaeological evidence, and the importance of the mountain in different faiths. Starting with the biblical narratives, according to the Old Testament, specifically the Book of Numbers, Moses and the Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years after leaving Egypt. During this time, Moses received the 10 Commandments and other laws from God at Mount Sinai. As their journey continued, the Israelites approached the land of Canaan, the Promised Land. In Numbers chapter 20, the narrative describes a crucial event near Mount Hor. God instructed Moses and Aaron to gather the congregation of Israel. God then informed Moses that Aaron would die because the brothers did not follow his instructions earlier. Moses took Aaron and Aaron's son Eleazar up the mountain, where Aaron died, and Moses and Eleazar descended without him. Aaron's death marked the end of his role as high priest and leader of the Levites. The location of Mount Hor, where Aaron died and was buried, is traditionally identified with Jebel Harun. This identification has been preserved through Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions, all of which recognize the importance of the mountain in relation to Aaron's death and burial. In terms of religious traditions, Mount Hor's identification with Jebel Harun is supported by historical interpretations and religious teachings. Jewish scholars and rabbis have maintained the belief that Aaron's death and burial on Mount Hor occurred at Jebel Harun. Moses' connection to the mountain is inferred from the biblical account of him accompanying Aaron there and overseeing his death. Early Christian pilgrims and scholars, following biblical narratives, also identified Mount Hor with Jebel Harun. They viewed the mountain as a significant site associated with Moses and Aaron's biblical stories. This tradition has persisted through centuries of Christian religious teachings and historical writings. Islamic tradition also holds Jebel Harun in high esteem. Muslims believe that Aaron, known as Harun in Arabic, is buried on this mountain. The mountain is considered a sacred site, and many Muslims visit it as a place of pilgrimage. Islamic scholars and historians have documented the significance of Jebel Harun in Islamic history and religious practice. Apart from religious texts and traditions, archaeological findings and historical accounts contribute to the understanding of Jebel Harun's significance. Petra, an ancient city near Jebel Harun, was a major center of trade and culture during biblical times. The proximity of Jebel Harun to Petra suggests that the mountain would have been known and possibly revered by the ancient inhabitants of the region. Archaeological excavations in Petra and surrounding areas have revealed artifacts and inscriptions that provide insights into the religious beliefs and practices of the people who lived there. While direct evidence linking Jebel Harun to Moses' burial is scarce, the mountain's prominence in historical and religious contexts cannot be overlooked. Over the centuries, Jebel Harun has remained a site of cultural and religious pilgrimage. People of different faiths have visited the mountain to pay homage to the biblical figures associated with it. Pilgrimages to Jebel Harun continue to this day, showing its enduring importance in the religious landscape of the Middle East. The site serves as a testament to the lasting legacy of Aaron and the profound impact of his life and death on various religious traditions. In recent times, the search for Moses' tomb continues to captivate believers and scholars alike. The search is not only about locating a physical site, but also about understanding the enduring influence of Moses' teachings and his role in shaping religious ethics and moral codes. The cultural impact of Moses' legacy goes beyond religious boundaries, influencing literature, art, and philosophy worldwide. Even though the exact location of his tomb has not been discovered yet, Moses' legacy endures as a symbol of resilience and divine guidance. People still look for Moses' tomb today as part of a spiritual journey, connecting with their faith and seeking proximity to a revered prophet and leader. Pilgrimages to sites like Mount Nebo, another location traditionally associated with Moses, offer believers a chance to reflect on Moses' teachings and their own spiritual path. Mount Nebo is believed to be the place where Moses viewed the Promised Land before he died. The site provides a panoramic view of the Jordan Valley and the Dead Sea, creating a poignant connection for pilgrims retracing the steps of Moses. The continued interest in Moses' burial site reflects the profound reverence held for him across different cultures and religions. His role as a prophet, lawgiver, and leader is celebrated in Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. The stories of his leadership, his receipt of divine commandments, and his guidance of the Israelites have left an indelible mark on the world's spiritual and cultural heritage. In conclusion, Jebel Harun, with its historical and religious significance, stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of Aaron and the intertwined narratives of Moses. The mountain's identification as Aaron's burial site and its potential connection to Moses' final resting place highlight the rich tapestry of religious traditions and historical accounts that have shaped its reverence over centuries. While the exact location of Moses' tomb remains undiscovered, the spiritual journey to sites like Jebel Harun and Mount Nebo continues to inspire and connect people with their faith, underscoring the timeless impact of these biblical figures.
Syria's longest river has receded, parching trees and leaving families of local farmers without water to drink.
For centuries, the Euphrates River has flowed like a silver serpent, nourishing the cradle of civilization. But now, a terrifying transformation is underway. A relentless drought grips the land, turning fertile fields into a desolate wasteland. The once proud Euphrates, whispered of in the Book of Revelation, shrinks with each passing day. Its mighty current fractures, its lifeblood draining away, leaving behind a cracked and parched riverbed. Panic grips the region. Farmers, their eyes hollow with despair, watch their crops wither and die. Millions face the unimaginable, a future devoid of water, food, and the very promise of life. Is this a natural disaster of epic proportions, or something far more sinister? Could a hidden evil, long prophesied, be awakening beneath the drying riverbed, hastening the arrival of the end times? Historians whisper of ancient texts, cryptic warnings about a time when the Euphrates recedes, paving the way for a cataclysmic event. Modern scientists scramble for answers, their instruments recording unprecedented geological shifts. But one chilling question hangs heavy in the air. Are we witnessing the literal fulfillment of biblical prophecy? Join us on this spine-tingling journey as we delve into the secrets of the drying Euphrates. We'll explore the terrifying possibilities lurking beneath the cracked earth, the ancient prophecies that echo with unsettling accuracy, and the desperate struggle for survival unfolding before our very eyes. This is more than just a drought. It's a potential harbinger of the apocalypse. Buckle up, because this investigation could change the way you view the world and the very fate of humanity. The situation is dire. Iraq, particularly the Nineveh Governorate, faces a staggering 70% drop in wheat production due to water scarcity. Imagine vast swaths of farmland turning barren, unable to sustain this essential crop. Even in Kurdistan, a region historically blessed with more water, production is expected to decrease by half. Every month, the rivers shrink, their water sucked dry by the relentless sun. This isn't just about agriculture. The lack of water also disrupts electricity generation. Dams, once brimming with life-giving water, are running dry. This, in turn, impacts the development of essential infrastructure, including health facilities. Now imagine facing health issues in a region with dwindling access to proper medical care. A terrifying prospect. Climate change is the culprit here. Rising temperatures lead to lower rainfall, leaving the rivers with less water to begin with. Then comes the scorching heat wave, further amplifying the problem by evaporating whatever water remains. This doesn't just affect plant growth, it disrupts the entire ecosystem. The human cost is devastating. Millions are at risk. Over 5 million people in Syria rely on the Euphrates River for their very survival. On the Iraqi side, the number balloons to a staggering 7 million. Imagine that 7 million people facing an uncertain future because a river that has sustained civilizations for millennia is disappearing. Think about it. 400 square kilometers of fertile agricultural land, once teeming with life, now lacks the vital resource for plant growth. This is a crisis that threatens the food security of entire nations. It's a domino effect: no water, crops, or food, potentially leading to social unrest and instability. But all of this has been predicted in the Bible long ago. The book of Revelation in the Bible mentions the drying up of the Euphrates River as a sign of the end times. What does this signify for the fate of humanity? This sign from the Euphrates River holds significance from both a biblical and scientific standpoint. Many Christians are closely watching the Euphrates River, which is nearly dry, due to its association with a Bible scripture describing 4 fallen angels. The region between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers aligns with a biblical insight about strange sounds underground. A portion of Revelation in the Bible reveals tunnels where angels that fell from heaven are trapped. It is perceived that demons are currently burning in hell, potentially located underground around the Euphrates River. These beings are described as bound demons or fallen angels, many of whom are in chains of gloomy darkness, as mentioned in Peter 2:4. God's good angels are not bound but are free, unlike Satan's angels, demons. Ephesians 6:12 tells us, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Where are these 4 angels imprisoned? Along the Euphrates River, an area with a well-known correlation between human sin and significant historical events. Perhaps the first murder occurred in the Euphrates region, east of the Garden of Eden, Genesis 4:8. The region also witnessed the first war alliances, Genesis 14, Nimrod establishing his kingdom, Genesis 10:8-12, and the rise of Babylonian idolatry, which will be judged as written in the book of Revelation. What are these fallen angels screaming underground the Euphrates River?
The decrease.
Revelation 12, 7, 9 reveals much about the angels below the Euphrates. According to the Bible, a war broke out in heaven between Michael and the dragon. The dragon, accompanied by his angels, was too weak and lost the battle, resulting in their expulsion from heaven. The four angels under the Euphrates are undoubtedly part of the fallen angels who were hurled down with Satan. When you read Luke 10:17, Revelation 12, 7, 9, and Jude 1:6, it becomes clear that the great dragon, the ancient serpent, the devil or Satan, who leads the entire world astray, was hurled to the earth along with his angels. Revelation 9 indicates that some of these fallen angels, part of the 1/3 of angels chosen by the devil, were not allowed to roam freely on earth like the others, but were instead chained or bound until the appointed time. These imprisoned angels were likely violent and posed a threat to humanity's existence, necessitating their confinement. Among these shackled angels are the four angels of the Euphrates, who, according to Revelation 9, will be unleashed from the Euphrates to fulfill biblical prophecies that call for the smiting of 1/3 of the earth. Everyone should be aware that the events happening in the Euphrates signal the approaching rapture. Therefore, we must serve the Lord with zeal since we live in the latter days. The Bible may refer to the angels who control Syria, Iraq, Turkey, and Iran, indicating that these nations will be allowed to go to war, as stated in Revelation 9:13, 16. These nations are spread out along the Euphrates River. Although the fallen angels are not given names in the Bible, a few are mentioned in the book of Enoch. The leader is Shemiaza or Semjaza, Shimihaza, and other names include Azazel, Tamiel, Arakiel, and Kokabiel. Different translators may spell these names differently. In the book of Enoch, the fallen angels are referred to as the Watchers. There were 200 angels in total, whose job was to watch over humanity without interfering unless instructed by God. However, they felt lust for the daughters of men and eventually descended to Mount Hermon in present-day Syria, making a pact with their leader, Shemiaza, to act as one. When they were discovered for this ungodly deed, their act of taking wives and procreating resulted in the birth of giants called the Nephilim. Each of these fallen angels had knowledge of a particular subject matter that they taught to mankind. While some of this knowledge was positive, much of it was negative, such as the fashioning of weapons of war, the art of killing, the art of war, and the beautification of lust, all taught by Azazel. Enchantments were taught by Arakiel, among others. Some people believe that the fallen angels are responsible for tempting humans and enacting principles of their desires for mankind. They are thought to be all around us, influencing governments, Babylon the Great's false religious empire, and the commercial empire, including the entertainment industry. They continue to stir up hatred, racism, and other negative influences, tempting people to act wrongly. The last days are unfolding exactly as the Bible predicts. The Euphrates River, which passes through Turkey, Syria, Iraq, and other countries before flowing into the Persian Gulf, is considered Western Asia's longest river. However, the Euphrates River is endangered due to the water policies of Iraq's neighbors, Turkey and Syria, a 2-year drought, years of abuse by Iraq and its farmers, and 2 Bible passages that foretell the Euphrates River's eventual drying up. The river is considerably lower than it was a few years ago. The book of Jeremiah chapter 50 describes God's judgment upon Babylon's rulers, wise men, army, horses, chariots, wealth, and false prophets. It also predicts either a drought in Babylon's waters or the rise of terror in a land of idols. Some people interpret the drying riverbed of the Euphrates as a fulfillment of biblical end-of-the-world prophecies. Recently, a new video from this location has surfaced, sparking interest and concern among many. The Euphrates River has dried up, revealing historical structures and a cave. This has led to speculation about the sounds described in Revelation chapter 9, where scorpion-like beasts emerge from the bottomless pit, and the sounds of fallen angels or devils imprisoned beneath. Although the reality of these pit noises is debated, The video showing archaeologists at the dried-up Euphrates River site has generated significant attention. It's crucial to note that this does not serve as definitive proof, especially given the scarcity of available videos. According to biblical prophecy, 4 angels are imprisoned near the Euphrates River, and their release is foretold to result in the death of 1/3 of humanity by a force of 2 million horsemen. This prophecy has intensified interest in the strange tunnel under the riverbed, which some believe may house the fallen angels mentioned in the Bible. Meanwhile, the environmental and human-made aspects of the Euphrates River's problems are well documented. Berkeley Earth, a California-based non-profit organization, reports that Iraq's annual temperatures are rising at roughly twice the global average. While the world has warmed by an average of 1.3 degrees Celsius since the late 1800s, Iraq has experienced a rise of 2.5 degrees Celsius. The Turkish government has been constructing dams upstream below the Taurus Mountains in eastern Turkey for years, starting with the completion of the Keban Dam on the upper Euphrates in 1974. This has significantly impacted the river's flow downstream into Iraq. Additionally, Turkey and Syria have transformed the Euphrates into a series of reservoirs, effectively drying up the river downstream in Iraq. In response, the Iraqi government has built a network of canals from the Euphrates River to a lake northwest of Baghdad. Since the 1970s, Iraq has faced disputes with Turkey and Syria over water rights. The World Resources Institute, a non-profit American environmental organization, reports that the current water crisis in Iraq is already endangering the lives of at least 10 million people and limiting access to food and energy. Wheat production in northern Iraq could decline by up to 70%. Addressing this issue would require a complete overhaul of the irrigation system, costing an estimated $60 to $80 billion, funds that Iraq lacks, leading to imminent hunger. Additionally, as dams break, the reduced electricity supply affects essential services such as military operations, hospitals, and other critical infrastructure. This situation results from a combination of regional politics and climate change. Do you believe these events are fulfilling the Bible's prophecies about the rapture and the second coming of Jesus?
People often know Elon Musk as a billionaire with a huge fortune, a crazy genius with unique ideas. The reason for his popularity is because he has good statements on many social media platforms and gives many interviews. On social networks, he regularly tweets his thoughts and predictions for the future. Often the content of his shares is often related to technology and his views on things going on in the world. But recently, he has made a lot of statements related to God and the end of the world. In particular, he paid a lot of attention to the fact that the Euphrates River was gradually drying up. He saw signs that not everyone could recognize with his intelligence and sharp awareness around things happening in the world. Many people will be shocked to hear what Elon Musk said about this biblically important river. So, what did he say? And why, after knowing what he said, made everyone so worried about the future? What is the truth behind it? Watch till the end to find all the answer for these questions. If you like our video, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps us a lot. Elon Musk has changed his faith. As you know, Elon Musk has repeatedly asserted that he is an atheist and only believes in science and technology. He does not worship anything but is only interested in developing the humanity. Hear what he had to say in an interview with Soul Pancake.
What do you worship?
Well, I don't really worship anything, but I do devote myself to the advancement of humanity using technology.
But don't be fooled into saying that Elon Musk knows nothing about the Bible. From an early age, Musk was baptized and received Holy Communion. When he went to school, he attended Anglican Sunday School and studied at Jewish preschool. And he truly grew up with the Bible, even considering the Bible as a beacon that illuminates his path every time he loses direction in life. He shared this in an interview with Babylon Bee.
I mean, at one point, I when I was a kid, I had this existential crisis, and I was trying to figure out what's the meaning of life. And I was like, oh, it all means nothing. It's all, and I read like a whole bunch of religious books, including the Bible, and I'm like, there's a bunch of things in there they didn't teach you in Sunday school.
He continued to show great love and respect for the Bible, that he also always remembers the lessons of God and always respects them, and it really helped him become the richest person in the world today.
Elon's criticism on various biblical accounts. Have a look.
I mean, let's just say, like, I agree with the principles that Jesus advocated. You know, there's great wisdom in the teachings of Jesus, and I agree with those teachings. And things like turn the other cheek are very important, because as opposed to an eye for an eye leads everyone blind. So forgiveness, you know, is important, and treating people as you would wish to be treated. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Very important.
Many Christians may not be aware that the name Elon originates from Hebrew, meaning oak grove. It appears 6 times in the Old Testament, designating a place in Palestine and being attributed to a Hittite and 2 Israelites. Additionally, it identified as a judge of Israel in chapter 12 of the book of Judges. What should we do when the Euphrates River dries up? As we reflect on the drying up of the Euphrates River, a biblical sign often interpreted as heralding the end of the world, we're compelled to consider our readiness for the cataclysmic events foretold in Scripture. The book of Revelation vividly portrays a scene of divine wrath, with the earth convulsing, mountains and islands shifting, stars plummeting from the heavens, and the sky recoiling like a scroll. In this moment of reckoning, both kings and slaves tremble before the judgment of God as He rains down upon a corrupt earth. Amidst the looming specter of these apocalyptic events, what preparations can Christians make? While physical readiness may seem prudent, the Apostle Peter offers a clarion call to a different form of preparation. Rather than fortifying ourselves in fear or stockpiling provisions, Peter urges us to embrace holy conduct and godliness. As we anticipate the day of God, hastening its arrival through our righteous actions, we are reminded that the dissolution of the heavens and earth will ultimately give way to a new creation. Peter's exhortation echoes the teachings of Jesus and Paul, emphasizing the importance of practicing love and kindness towards others. Instead of succumbing to a fortress mentality, we are called to engage with the world around us, extending grace and compassion to all, especially to those within the household of faith. Jesus' golden rule, treat others as you would want to be treated, encapsulates this ethos of selflessness and empathy. In our present era, characterized by rampant individualism and moral relativism, it's easy to lose sight of our interconnectedness and shared humanity. Yet, as Peter reminds us, our ultimate destiny, whether king or beggar, is to stand before our Creator on Judgment Day, each soul valued equally in the eyes of God. Interestingly, Elon Musk's quest for simplicity amid complexity resonates with deeper philosophical truths about existence and dependence. Our contingent nature underscores our reliance on something greater for our very being, prompting us to heed God's teachings and embrace humility before our Creator. In these uncertain times, marked by signs that could be construed as portents of the end, let us not be consumed by fear or speculation. Instead, let us heed the timeless wisdom of Scripture, cultivating lives of holiness, love, and service to others. As we navigate the challenges of our age, may we find solace and strength in God's Word, trusting in His guidance and provision as we journey toward the fulfillment of His kingdom. Following the splash landing of the Dragon capsule in the Gulf of Mexico in 2020, the chief engineer and CEO of SpaceX acknowledged that he resorted to prayer. Elon Musk himself stated later that, "I'm not very religious, but I prayed for this one." He continued speaking, "I think this is something that the whole world can take some pleasure in and can really look at this as an achievement of humanity." He continued, "These are difficult times when you know there's not that much good news, and I think this is one of those things that is universally good no matter where you are on planet Earth. This is a good thing, and I hope it brightens your day." Not only that, he wrote on X that Jesus taught love, kindness, and forgiveness. "I used to think that turning the other cheek was weak and foolish, but I was the fool for not appreciating its profound wisdom." Comments such as these at least imply that Musk has not completely dismissed the gospel. Despite previously feeling embarrassed when questioned about God and adamantly declaring he did not worship anyone, Musk appears to be gradually evolving and undergoing significant shifts in his spiritual journey. Therefore, it's not entirely unexpected that when faced with the issue of the Euphrates running dry, many attributed it to natural causes like drought. However, Musk delved deeper into the matter. His comments are as biblical as Musk's claim that we are living in a world that was created by something and could not have appeared out of nowhere. It's like asserting that a person with infinite strength and power created the world and himself, and that person is our almighty Lord Jesus. When questioned about his belief in God, Musk responded by suggesting that something brought about the universe's existence, or simply that the universe exists. When further probed about the origins of the universe, the billionaire entrepreneur remarked that one could interpret whatever initiated the universe as God, depending on individual perspective. A few years back, Musk tweeted, "If I die under mysterious circumstances, it's been nice knowing ya." When asked about his belief in an almighty creator, Musk responded that he was fine with the idea of going to hell, considering the vast number of humans who would be there. While Musk hasn't explicitly identified as a Christian, he has never denied the existence of God. He also demonstrates an understanding of the end times, implying that no one will escape, including himself. He suggests being prepared to accept God's decisions, whether leading to heaven or hell. Perhaps Musk's acceptance of the idea of hell stems from the notion, as expressed by the devil to Eve, that "you surely will not die," granting him the freedom he desires. Though it may seem unlikely from our perspective, if Musk were to become a believer, with God, all things are possible. With knowledge of the Bible as well as love for God, Elon Musk has recently highlighted potential threats and dangers to humanity and the environment. In his latest announcement, he suggested that the Euphrates River might dry up. This is particularly significant because according to the Bible, the drying up of the Euphrates River is associated with the end of the world. Musk's statement has stirred some concern as it could pose a global threat. Musk likely has valid reasons for making such claims, and we will explore how his findings correlate with the historical records documented in the Bible. Let's hope it doesn't come as too much of a shock for you. Ever since Jesus Christ mentioned that only God knows the timing of the second coming and the birth of a new generation, various preachers and individuals self-identified as doomsayers have attempted to predict these events. Phrases like God's final judgment is imminent, possibly within our lifetime, so prepare yourselves have become common. Recently, prophets have provided new interpretations prompting discussions and debates in online forums, Bible study groups, and churches. Despite the fervent discourse, why do many appear fearful? To grasp this, we must delve into a chilling narrative concerning the Euphrates River. The most unsettling aspect for many is the perceived unfolding of the Bible's prophecy of the world's end right before their eyes. Numerous individuals believe that crucial sections of the Book of Revelation point to the significance of Iraq in the apocalyptic scenario. Chapter 16 of Revelation specifically references the Euphrates River, stating, "The sixth angel poured his bowl on the great river, the Euphrates. Its water was dried up to clear the way for the kings from the east." This verse describes the sixth angel pouring a bowl into the Euphrates River, causing it to dry up. Past instances of bowl judgments have resulted in the loss or contamination of much of the world's water. However, this action isn't intended to worsen the water quality or restrict human usage. Instead, it appears to symbolize the removal of a barrier, enabling the kings from the east to advance. Referred to 5 times as the Great River in the Bible, the Euphrates historically delineated the eastern border of Israel's territory. Its formidable presence, coupled with the desert expanse separating Israel from Canaan, provided a natural defense. Stretching over 2,000 miles towards Palestine before veering southeast towards the Persian Gulf, the Euphrates River in the 1st century effectively divided the Western and Eastern worlds. To the east lay the vast kingdoms of China and India. Notably, ancient history recounts how Cyrus of Persia's army conquered Babylon by diverting the Euphrates River, allowing them to infiltrate and seize the city. During the prophesied Great Tribulation, an adversary from the east will traverse the Euphrates, passing through Babylon and eventually reaching Palestine. This imagery evokes a sense of foreboding as it aligns with the eschatological narrative of Revelation, signaling a significant geopolitical upheaval and the imminent fulfillment of apocalyptic prophecy. Revelation 9:14 depicts God instructing the 6th angel with the trumpet to release the 4 angels bound at the great river Euphrates. This directive raises intriguing questions about its significance. Exodus 27:2 reveals that John hears this command emanating from the 4 horns of the brass altar. Thus, the voice commands the 6th angel, bearing the bell, to unleash the 4 bound angels situated at the Euphrates, once the border between Israel and Assyria. In the narrative of Revelation, the overarching theme underscores God's sovereignty over all events, whether permitting or orchestrating them. Particularly in the context of the end times, evil will ultimately face divine justice without escape. The mention of these angels being bound indicates their demonic nature, fallen from heaven and often residing in realms of darkness. Since association with the Euphrates Valley, believed to be the location of the Garden of Eden and possibly the site of the first murder, deepens the symbolism of the angels' captivity. Recent reports of peculiar voices emerging from the drying riverbed may signify a symbolic unveiling of a pathway, potentially signaling the unfolding of prophetic events. These occurrences foster a belief among many that current events signify the imminent return of Christ to vanquish his adversaries and establish his heavenly kingdom. Notably, Pastor Joseph Kabuleta of Watchman Ministries recently convened a Watchers meeting in Uma, Uganda, urging attendees to remain vigilant for signs of the end times. At the 2022 gathering on September 17th, Kabuleta delivered a message of startling revelations, elucidating intricate biblical prophecies and demonstrating how many have already come to pass. His efforts aim to provide clarity amid the complexity of biblical predictions, preparing believers to navigate the tumultuous times ahead with discernment and faith. One of the recent prophecies concerning the end of the world that has seemingly manifested is the rejuvenation of the Dead Sea. This body of water, devoid of sea life and vegetation and renowned as the saltiest sea on earth, was foretold by God to the prophet Ezekiel in Ezekiel 47 to be revitalized, with clean water supporting living organisms. In 2016, the discovery of freshwater fish ponds along its banks provided tangible evidence of the fulfillment of this prophecy. Pastor Kabuleta further expounds on the ominous battle prophesied in Ezekiel 38 and Revelation 9, slated to unfold near the Euphrates River in the final days. Scriptures describe a coalition of nations, including Turkey, Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Iran, and entities symbolized by Gog and Magog, converging to confront Israel. Kabuleta posits that should a 200 million-person army besiege Israel, the nation would be compelled to resort to nuclear deterrence or face obliteration. Revelation 16:12 foretells the drying up of the Euphrates River, facilitating troop movements during this anticipated conflict. A prophecy seemingly actualized by the recent drying of the river, projected to become permanent by 2040 without intervention. As catastrophic warfare ravages unprecedented devastation, a global effort ensues to broker a temporary peace accord in alignment with Daniel 9:27's prophecy of a 7-year peace treaty. Subsequently, the reins of power will purportedly transition from human hands to divine intervention upon the conclusion of this period, heralding the return of Jesus Christ. These developments have stirred widespread apprehension as individuals grapple with the realization of prophecies previously dismissed as implausible. While some attribute the drying of the Euphrates to political machinations or climate change, others discern divine orchestration aligning with biblical narratives. Even amid skepticism regarding divine involvement, Elon Musk's response to these phenomena remains grounded in scientific inquiry and empirical evidence. Despite his agnostic stance, Musk has refrained from dismissing these occurrences outright, instead corroborating his assertions with rigorous study and scientific analysis concerning the Euphrates River's dynamics. In essence, whether construed as fulfillment of ancient prophecies or ascribed to natural phenomena, the convergence of biblical narratives and contemporary events prompts profound contemplation on the trajectory of humanity and its ultimate destiny.